Hebei's supermarket chain collapse, owner fleeing with funds, franchisees resort to sleep on streets. Chinese gig economy market, more difficult this year than before the pandemic. CCP enlists overseas internet celebrities for big external propaganda, following their playlist. Scholar, CCP's global image worse than Tiananmen, she confronts 3 challenges. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Hebei's supermarket chain collapse, owner fleeing with funds, franchisees resort to sleep on streets. Recently, there have been online reports indicating the collapse of the Yuanfuda chain of supermarkets in Baoding, Hebei, with allegations that the owner has fled with funds. Some franchisees and suppliers are resorting to street protests, sleeping outdoors. Social media has witnessed the circulation of related videos. In these videos, franchisees and suppliers accuse the company's owner of being a fraudster who took a significant amount of money or goods from them through supermarket franchise fees and subsequently absconded with the funds. Activists are utilizing this street sleeping protest method to advocate for justice. The videos have garnered attention, particularly considering the harsh winter temperatures. Information from public accounts on the mainland Chinese internet reveals that Hebei Yuanfuda Trading Group Company, Limited is a physical company engaged in food production, packaging, and retail and wholesale businesses. It operates the Yuanfuda brand of supermarkets in China, claiming to have 6,000 franchise chain stores nationwide, with tens of thousands of investors and millions of members. Yuanfuda's business strategy revolves around promoting low-priced goods, often featuring promotions like recharging 100 yuan and receiving an extra 90 yuan, or spending 100 yuan and getting 40 yuan off consistently. This attracted numerous investors, and the company collected substantial franchise fees from them. However, over the last 3 years, Yuanfuda has encountered growing operational challenges. Reports suggest that the chairman of Yuanfuda, Jinping, invested the supermarket earnings in real estate and multiple listed companies, resulting in failed investments. This led to the breakdown of Yuanfuda's financial chain, resulting in supermarket closures and franchisees losing both their commission fees and capital. In mid-September of this year, reports emerged that Yuanfuda's owner, Jinping, was suspected of illegally absorbing public deposits and had already been subjected to criminal coercive measures by public security authorities. Following the announcement of the alleged illegal absorption of public deposits by Yuanfuda Trading Group Company, Limited, suppliers and franchisees of Yuanfuda have expressed dissatisfaction, contending that Jinping's involvement extends beyond illegal fundraising and should be characterized as fraud. In mid-October, a Chinese netizen posted on Weibo, alleging that Jinping had divorced his wife, who departed abroad with their child, taking tens of billions with her. Jinping was arrested, and all Yuanfuda supermarkets turned yellow, signifying their closure. As of now, authorities have not disclosed any new developments in the case involving Yuanfuda and Jinping. There has been no official response or explanation provided to the affected franchisees and suppliers by the authorities. Chinese gig economy market, more difficult this year than before the pandemic. The mainland gig economy is grappling with challenging conditions, leading to lower treatment for gig workers who are facing difficulties in finding employment. Many individuals assert that this year's gig job market is more demanding than the period before the pandemic. The gig economy is characterized by short-term, flexible jobs facilitated by digital platforms or online marketplaces. In this setup, individuals, often referred to as gig workers or independent contractors, engage in temporary or project-based work instead of traditional, long-term employment. Zhang Chenggang, director of the China Research Center for New Employment Forms, recently conducted research on gig job markets in 4 cities, Beijing, Zhengzhou, Hangzhou, and Shenzhen. He observed changes in the mainland gig job market compared to a few years ago. In the gig job market at the intersection of the South 3rd Ring Road and Jingmi Road in Zhengzhou, Hunan Province, the downturn in the construction industry has left older migrant workers, primarily engaged in daily construction work, with essentially no available work. In the gig job market at Majukyo in Beijing, gig workers are facing the challenge of fewer job opportunities and reduced daily wages. However, the situation is relatively better in Shenzhen, providing some choices for workers. In these major cities, gig workers often find themselves able to work for only about 10 days in a month, and during peak seasons, they may manage to work for 10 to 20 days. Gig workers express that this year's job market is even more challenging than before the pandemic. Although there were some gig opportunities in July and August, job prospects significantly dwindled afterward. Especially recently, with the conclusion of the busy farming season and the gradual cooling weather, a new wave of laborers has entered the daily gig job market, resulting in a very low proportion of individuals who can actually secure gig positions each day. Due to the difficulty in finding employment, many laborers are forced to return to their hometowns prematurely. Some find themselves sleeping under bridges every day. In this challenging job-seeking environment, migrant workers also face the dilemma of increasing medical insurance costs and inadequate rural pension funds. Additionally, according to the survey report on migrant workers released by the National Bureau of Statistics of the CCP, the average age of migrant workers is on the rise. In 2022, the average age of migrant workers is 42.3 years, an increase of 0.6 years from the previous year. Among them, the proportion of migrant workers aged 50 and above is 29.2%, with a total exceeding 86.32 million, an increase of 1.9 percentage points from the previous year. In 2012, a decade ago, this proportion was only 15.1%. In the gig job market in Zhengzhou, the oldest gig worker is already in their 70s, and there are many migrant workers in their 60s looking for work there. Zhang Chenggang remarked, daily gig work has become the last resort for many gig workers' employment. Besides this option, where else can they go to earn money? I really can't think of any alternatives. A significant portion of gig workers is already on the verge of survival. CCP enlists overseas internet celebrities for grand external propaganda, following their playlist. The Australian think tank recently revealed that, capitalizing on the escalating influence of the internet and social media platforms globally, the CCP has reinstated the recruitment of overseas internet celebrities for its big external propaganda. These individuals are actively involved in promoting the party's narratives both within and outside China, aligning with the CCP's official messages. Amid the current challenges faced by the CCP domestically and internationally, the focus shifts to understanding how the CCP nurtures these overseas internet celebrities and their role in the party's propaganda efforts. To delve into this analysis, it's crucial to explore the CCP's United Front work, extending overseas under the term Big External Propaganda. This encompasses a series of activities and strategies aimed at promoting the CCP's voice and image globally, with the intent of enhancing international standing, bolstering soft power, and increasing influence on the world stage. In essence, big external propaganda serves as a crucial tool for the CCP government to advance the interests of the state and propagate its ideology, seeking acknowledgement of its policies from other sovereign nations. The goal is to expand the global influence of the CCP in terms of discourse and behavior. A recent report from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, titled Singing from the CCP's Songbook, sheds light on various tactics used by the CCP. The report gathered information on over 120 overseas internet celebrities with active accounts on major Chinese video streaming platforms like Bilibili, a video sharing website based in Shanghai, Douyin, a Chinese TikTok platform, Xigua, a Chinese online video sharing platform owned by ByteDance, and others. The findings indicate that these overseas internet celebrities are reaching a growing international audience, with some amassing millions of followers in China and millions more on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and X, formerly Twitter. The CCP has identified, utilized, and actively developed these foreign influencers, considering them as unique propaganda assets on social media. By leveraging the popularity of these figures, the CCP aims to quash international criticism, amplify the party's main themes, and strengthen its influence both domestically and internationally. One example mentioned in the report is American video blogger Gerald S. Koval. In a video posted on YouTube upon his arrival in Shanghai on March 15, 2021, he expressed contentment, stating, "I'm happy now because I feel free." He praised China's COVID-19 prevention measures as the most organized globally. At a time when the CCP faced international criticism for its pandemic control measures, Gerald S. Koval's videos garnered recognition not only from China Central Television but also from Hua Chunying, the spokesperson of the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who shared and promoted his content. The report suggests that by coordinating efforts with foreign internet celebrities and other communicators, Beijing aims to establish a unified chorus capable of more effectively promoting the party's narrative than the traditional official media. An editor from CCP's official media emphasized the goal of cultivating individuals who can speak up for the CCP during critical moments, referring to them as foreign mouths, foreign pens, and foreign brains. Beijing's ultimate objective is to uphold CCP control over culture, discourse, and ideology, eliminate the impact of foreign free political speech, and thereby maintain the legitimacy of the CCP. The primary strategies employed by the CCP government in executing big external propaganda include international media. The CCP harnesses some of the world's most influential propaganda tools, utilizing international media outlets like Xinhua News Agency, China Daily, People's Daily, and other party-controlled media to disseminate its narrative globally. International platforms such as China Radio International, CRI, and China Global Television Network, CGTN, broadcast programs in both Chinese and foreign languages, covering news about China and global affairs. International social media, organized and outsourced agencies leverage the internet and social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc., to communicate their perspectives and assertions to a global audience. Propaganda films. Significant financial resources are invested in producing propaganda films and documentaries showcasing China's accomplishments in culture, history, economy, technology, and society. Cultural exchange activities. Actively participating in cultural exchange initiatives, including cultural festivals, art exhibitions, music performances, etc., to showcase both traditional Chinese culture and contemporary innovations. Foreign visits and exchanges. CCP government officials, scholars, and experts frequently engage in foreign visits, deliver speeches, and participate in seminars to convey the policy perspectives and positions of the CCP authorities. Foreign students. Attracting a substantial number of foreign students who play a vital role in promoting the glorious and righteous image of the CCP and facilitating the dissemination of Chinese culture. 45 billion yuan has spent over 14 years for implementation of big external propaganda plan. Since 2009, the CCP has allocated 45 billion yuan, approximately $6.3 billion, for the implementation of the big external propaganda plan, with the goal of promoting its authoritarian system and influencing international discourse. The noteworthy impact of this substantial investment has recently captured the attention of scholars from esteemed institutions such as Yale and Harvard. A group of scholars, including those from York University in Canada, conducted a multinational study on these matters, revealing surprisingly insightful results. Professor Shen Rongqing from York University openly questions the presumed greater difficulty in promoting an authoritarian system compared to a democratic one. He also notes that the scholars heavily relied on information from the China Global Television Network, CCTGV, an English-language CCP Central Television channel. Convincing individuals with propaganda content under the CCP government system would, in theory, be even more challenging. Professor Shen asserts, "If you think so, then you are wrong." He elaborates on the research methodology, revealing that the scholars selected 19 countries as research samples, spanning 6 continents and encompassing countries with diverse political systems, ranging from dictatorship and semi-democracy to democracy, and including high, medium, and low-income nations. After exposure to the CCP's external propaganda, many respondents were genuinely influenced, shifting their support towards the authoritarian Communist Party system in China. They began to believe that the CCP could bring about economic growth, social stability, and effective party leadership. Professor Shen quotes the research results. indicating that, on average, irrespective of whether they come from wealthy or poor countries, democratic or authoritarian nations, after exposure to the CCP's external propaganda, the ratio of those believing in the superiority of the CCP's authoritarian model over the U.S. democratic model has increased from 16% to 54%, tripling the original percentage. Scholar, CCP's global image worse than Tiananmen, she confronts 3 challenges. The CCP is facing increasing isolation on the international stage, and some U.S. scholars go so far as to suggest that its current reputation is worse than during the Tiananmen Square massacre in 1989. These scholars identify 3 major challenges confronting the CCP. In a report by Taiwan's United Daily News, David Shambaugh, a prominent U.S. expert on Chinese issues, participated in the China's Modernization Under One-Party Rule international seminar organized by Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council and National Chengchi University on November 30, where he delivered a keynote speech. Shambaugh emphasized that the outside world still lacks a full understanding of the stance of CCP leader Xi Jinping, urging caution when predicting the future direction of China. He noted that Xi Jinping has been in power for more than a decade, and the unpredictability of his actions, such as suppressing business groups, implementing extreme zero-COVID pandemic control strategy, and responding to the outbreak in unexpected ways, has caught many by surprise. Shambaugh bluntly stated that the international community holds a very low opinion of the entire China, CCP, and China's, CCP, reputation is continuously declining, having been low since the era of Mao Zedong, and now it is even lower than during the Tiananmen Square incident. After the CCP's 1989 massacre of students in Tiananmen Square, it faced severe condemnation from Western governments and news media. This led to economic sanctions imposed by many Western countries, and an arms embargo against the CCP remains in effect to this day. Shambaugh highlighted dissatisfaction within both the CCP and the general public, noting unprecedented discontent from civil sectors and business people. The Uyghur and Tibetan ethnic groups also express high levels of dissatisfaction. Those supporting Xi Jinping primarily include benefited bureaucrats, state security agencies, public security departments, and a small minority of extreme nationalists and wolf warrior types. David Shambaugh has identified 3 challenges currently facing Xi Jinping. Firstly, there is a pervasive sense of uncertainty in mainland Chinese society, reflected in people tightening their budgets and reducing consumption. Secondly, the challenge of making everything safe, revealing a leader and regime lacking confidence and feeling insecure, perceiving threats and enemies everywhere. The Beijing authorities' sense of insecurity has led to crackdowns on spies and investigations into some foreign companies, resulting in arrests and the departure of many foreigners. According to data from China's State Administration of Foreign Exchange, foreign direct investment decreased by $11.8 billion in the third quarter of this year, marking the first recorded negative value for a quarter in China. Concurrently, the number of international students heading to China is on the decline. The Wall Street Journal reports that in 2019, over 11,000 Americans were studying in China. However, according to data from the U.S. Embassy in Beijing, this number has dropped to 350 this year. These developments undoubtedly deliver a significant blow to the Chinese economy, aligning with Shambaugh's third challenge for the CCP. He highlights that the mainland Chinese economy is stagnating and contracting, with surging local debt and decreasing exports. He underscores that in nations like mainland China, the crucial matter at this developmental phase unquestionably revolves around the connection between politics and the economy. To escape the middle-income trap and attain modernization, the political system must actively facilitate this progress. He referenced the observations of scholars Darren Acemoglu and James A. Robinson in the book Why Nations Fail, underscoring the imperative to distance oneself from an exploitative state and transition towards an inclusive one. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.